But I was thinking about this. The 8 quarterbacks left in the NFL. You got Russell Wilson, Matt Ryan, Brock Osweiler against Tom Brady, Big Ben against Alex Smith, and Aaron Rodgers against Dak Prescott. And I was thinking about this morning. There's only one quarterback out of those 8 that if he wins or loses, it changes everything. Let's talk Russell Wilson against Matt Ryan. It's been established. They're both franchise quarterbacks. Russell already has a Super Bowl and many postseason successes. I'm not going to think more of him if he wins, and I'm certainly not going to think less of Russell Wilson if he loses. Similarly to Matt Ryan, I've always felt he's a beat quarterback. Now he's got a good couple of running backs, good wide receivers, good offensive coordinator. He's playing like an A, but Andy Dalton played like an A for a couple of years too. If Matt Ryan wins a game, I'm not going to say suddenly he's Aaron Rodgers. And if he loses a game, so what? He has one playoff win in 5 years. I'm not going to elevate Matt Ryan or drop Matt Ryan, win or lose. Let's go to Brock and Tom Brady. Brady, like it's been established, he's great. Like he loses a game, I'm going to think he's bad. I'm going to think less of him. If he wins the game, he's a big favorite. Well, Colin, what about Brock Osweiler? Let's say Brock Osweiler plays great. So? You still paid $72 million for a C quarterback. If they win, it'll be defense, not Brock Osweiler. If Brock Osweiler loses, I expect that if he wins, it'll be his biggest win. And what? Mark Sanchez got to an AFC championship twice. Did it change the way you think about him today? Let's go to Big Ben and Alex Smith. Again, Big Ben to me is one of the greatest quarterbacks I've ever seen. I really do. I don't consider him. I consider him 90% Dan Marino. He's one of the great talents I've ever seen. He's a little beat up now, but he's unbelievable. Win or lose, doesn't change my mind. Even Alex Smith, he's been to a conference championship before. If Alex loses, he should. Big Ben's better. If Alex wins, I won a playoff game. He's won playoff games before. I'm not going to change the way I think about Alex Smith. I think he is a kind of a B-minus guy that when he has a good running back and a really good coach, he can win you a playoff game or two. Let's go to Aaron Rodgers against Dak Prescott. Aaron Rodgers, again, it's been established, first ballot Hall of Famer. Probably the most talented arm guy in the league since Dan Marino. Aaron Rodgers is off the hook talented. Do I think sometimes he can be condescending, a little aloof, a little California cool? Yep. Do I think he ad-libs too much out of plays? Yep. But if he wins or loses, I don't have one other comment that will come from nowhere on Aaron Rodgers. I won't suddenly be shocked that he lost or give him credits because he won. He's Aaron Rodgers. So I'm through 7 of the 8 quarterbacks. But if Dak Prescott wins the game, I'll think differently. I'll think, okay, here we go. We got a star. Remember, Andy Dalton could win in the regular season. You get to the playoffs, that's what players play. That's where the great ones elevate. A lot of guys, Mark Sanchez, Alex Smith, Andy Dalton, they can get you to the playoffs. But if Dak Prescott beat the best arm talent in the game, playing the best he's ever played, this is as good as Aaron Rodgers has ever been or better. In fact, he's better now than he was 4 years ago. He's better now than he was 2 years ago. He's got more snaps. If Dak Prescott beats Aaron Rodgers, I will think differently about Dak Prescott. If he loses, I'm not going to hold it against him. He shouldn't beat Aaron Rodgers. Dak wins, here we go. The legend's born. In fact, the game is so significant to Dak that if he wins, it will not only elevate him, I would make the argument that it would, in many eyes, not mine, but many eyes, lower your thoughts about Tony Romo. It could affect 2 quarterbacks, Dak and Tony. Remember, think about the NBA. If LeBron wins or loses a title, it's been established he's an all-timer. If Steph wins or loses a title this year, it's been established he's good enough to win, but not great enough to carry his team. But if Russell Westbrook or James Harden, considered just great scorers, won a title, if James Harden won a title this year, you would go from, he's like Carmelo, he can score a bunch, to, oh my God, you can build your franchise around James Harden. He's your number 1. He can win a title by himself almost. You can be a great scorer. You can be popular. But to really get to the next level, it's about now. It's about playoffs. It's about rings. It's about beating the great ones when 58 million Americans are watching. Of the 8 quarterbacks this weekend, exactly one quarterback could change his brand one way, Dak with a win. And that's why I think it's one of the great non-Super Bowls in the history of the NFL.